Happy Thursday. I wanted to go over a few things before we jump into the Bitcoin price because I just got off the phone not too long ago with one of a new client of mine, and he's getting his credit restored. And I want to go over why he's getting his credit restored. But before we do, make sure you head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris. If you guys are not subscribed already to my YouTube channel, please go do so. Hit that like, share, and subscribe at sign Chris Bitcoin Chris on YouTube. So make sure you guys do that. And make sure you guys, like I said, head over to Swan, get your $10 free Bitcoin, start the DCA. All right, so let's jump right into it. So the client that I have is starting a new business. He wants to start a new business. He's a tattoo artist. He wants to start a new business. And he's been saving. And he came to the realization that it's going to take him a very long time to save up enough to get trucks. He wants to start a new trucking company. And, he's been trying to save. And he has, he told me he got a new bank account. He's been trying to save. And, I was actually referred by my good friend. So shout out to my homie Edgar for referring me to his homie. But he, in the conversation, he told me that he wanted to get some trucks, right? And a truck is going to cost anywhere, and it's not like a normal truck. It's like he wants to do like logistics. So the truck is going to cost anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 for a truck, right? So he told me that he understood and realized that it's going to take him a long time to try to save all that money, guys. And that's why I tried to tell you guys, leverage OPM. OPM is other people's money, aka TBM, the bank's money, right? So that's why I tell you guys, use the bank's money. So he wants to get business credit. And that's the topic of the subject, is how long would it take you? Because we're not even going to say $50,000 or $100,000. We're not even going to go there. We're going to go with just $20,000, right? How long will it take for you, after paying all your bills, after you guys going out to eat, going out to drink, going out smoking and buying weed, and going to the clubs and buying clothes, and after all that, right? On top of all that, to save an extra $20,000, let alone $50,000 or $100,000. Honestly, how long do you think that would take you to save that much money? Now, for my client, Lord knows how long it's going to take for him to save up that money to get a truck, right? So instead of him, working harder, he's going to work smarter. He wants to fix his credit and then get business credit. Because then he could take the money from the credit cards at 0% interest and buy a truck. The truck is an asset because it's going to be generating revenue. With the cash flow, he's then going to be able to pay off the credit card over time. Once he pays off the credit card, everything else is profit. He has cash flow every month from his trucking business. So now he started a new business with the bank's money. So the question is, how long would it take you to save an extra $20,000? When you could just fix your credit, use the bank's money, OPM, other people's money, take this money, buy an asset that's going to cash flow, that's going to pay down the borrowed money, plus you make money. That's the smart way that you should consider leveraging your credit. I don't know any other way that you can get that amount of capital in such a short period of time. Now, if you have a good paying job, you making real good money, that's a different story. Even if you have $20,000 saved up, I still wouldn't use my own money. I would still use the bank's money to invest. Even if you have saved up $5,000 to $10,000, you should still use the bank's money to invest. Okay? So, if you need help with fixing your personal credit so then you can get business credit, send me a DM. I'll be more than happy to help. But if not, that's okay. It's just a strategy that you can use to save yourself time, because time is more important than money. And we've been told that time equals money, or time is money. No, it's not. Time is not money, because if I gave you $1 million today and said, okay, you can have this $1 million, but you die, you wouldn't take the $1 million, because time is more important than money. So with that being said, use the bank's money. Get an LLC. Start a business. Make money. Pay back the cards. Pay back the money you borrowed, guys. Once you pay off the cards, cash flow, money for you and your family. Pretty simple. So now we're going to jump into the Bitcoin price. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. Still in this flag, as I mentioned in yesterday's live stream. Last night I was very tired, and last night, what time is it? It was around 12 o'clock. It was around 11 or 12 o'clock that the video got uploaded. But as you can see here, from 11 o'clock to 9 o'clock this morning, we went on a little run, and now we pulled back. So let me jump to the hourly chart, because we are looking at that was a 8-minute chart. All right. All right, as you guys can see, we're still in this flag. All right, we have our momentum wave coming down. We have a red dot. RSI, stochastic RSI, headed down. VWAP headed down, and it looks like money flow is coming down. So we'll see how this plays out. This candle is green, however. All right, so let's jump to the 4-hour. Still in this flag. We are looking at money flow thick in the green, starting to head down a little bit. We have VWAP headed down, money flow. Last night I said this was a bullish divergence, and I said last night that, hey, as soon as we get this green dot, that'll be a great place to go long. And what do you know? It went green, and if you would have went long, would have made some money. I made some money. Be careful if you are trading. I don't recommend you trade. If you do trade, make sure you set up stop losses and don't over leverage. Bing X, that will be in the description if you're interested in trading. But like I said, I recommend that you just stack your sats. Stack your sats and chill. All right, so let me move this over. Cool. I said last night, this looks like a bullish divergence. Once we get a green dot, that'll be a smart place to go long. I front ran that, made some money, sold this morning, and now looks like we're consolidating. So because RSI is headed down, and VWAP is headed down. It looks like we're about to come down again. I don't know. I think if you were to go long, I would go long at 30,000 up to 34,000. I think once we bounce again and we come up, we can either I think we can pop out tomorrow, which is Friday. So tomorrow I think we'll pop out of this flag. If not, we'll pop out on Sunday. Who knows? I could be wrong. We could go down. But my target is still 35,000. And let's jump to the daily. Daily chart, that flag is still forming. So again, I think we are bullish long term. Looks like we're starting to curve up. If you watched yesterday's live, I said, it could start to swing up. It's been let me move this over. My head's in the way, my bad. All right, cool. All right, so as you can see here, I think we could, start to come up. And then this momentum wave could start to come up as well. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Money flow still in the red. On the daily. All right, and then weekly, nothing has pretty much changed. We'll jump to the 30-minute chart, and that'll be it. And then we'll jump into some tweaks. 30-minute chart, we are down here. What I'm going to do is put an alert for a green dot because I think we are getting ready to go up based on what I see here. Momentum wave starting to head up, as you can see here. VWAP, which is this yellow line, starting to head up. We have 3 green candles, 36. So an hour and 30 minutes, we've been trending up. And what I'll do is, again, I'll set that alert real quick. Add an alert. Green dot. Cool. Once we get that alert, I'll also send that alert out on Twitter. But because we are, because we're down, I think we're good. VWAP looks like it's headed up. I mean, RSI, stochastic RSI looks like it's headed up. So we'll see how this plays out. Maybe we can come back up and test again 30,700. So that's what I'll do is I'll go long. And I would put a stop loss just underneath here at 30,258. Take profit at 30,781. If that is something that you would like to do in trade, be careful. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set that trade up in a few once I get off. And let's see. Let's jump to some tweets, and we'll be done. I made some guacamole. So I'm going to tell you guys the secret that I've been doing, right? It's not a secret, but it's what makes my guacamole taste good. I add, come on, Twitter, hurry up. All right, so I add orange juice to my guacamole. Not orange juice, like orange. I take an orange and I squeeze the orange juice into my guacamole. Instead of, lemon and lime, I use guacamole. Guacamole. I use orange juice in my guacamole. So right now we're going to go through a couple tweets that I found very interesting. So the first tweet is, I'll go through my likes because, I don't retweet everything. My likes have been messing up, actually, so let me just go to tweets. Has anybody else been experiencing this spam warning on Twitter, or is it just me? All right, first tweet is, good morning. This is from Samson Mao. Good morning. Anything less than infinity on Bitcoin is bearish. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. We'll play this real quick.
They know they're connected A lot of times they're coordinating without the insider trading. This is not illegal to do.
No, manipulating the news cycle, if you're smart about it, is they can get away with it. Nobody's ever been arrested for anything like this.
So now, with crypto, I know personally, I know people that would have gotten in or stayed in if these people weren't saying what they're saying.
Right, and so this has really been extremely egregious. So on September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks,
people listen.
People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says we fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
So it's just, I mean, so unethical.
Right.
So, and this is what I've been telling you guys for a while, right? I've been saying that, and you guys can go down the timeline. There's a lot of tweets, so you just have to search for it or just be aware that, just keep it in mind. I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I tweet every time that there's a massive dump. There's a bunch of whales buying Bitcoin. And this is a prime example of that. Jim Cramer always does that. He scares retail. He tells the retail to do the complete opposite. And, their exit liquidity for, these people, or, they tell you guys to sell, and that's when everybody else buys, or the big fish or the whales buy. So, you got to keep that in mind that, the news is controlled. And I also said yesterday that people need to take a fast from the news. Stop listening to the news. They lie to you guys all the time, and you guys are always listening to the news. Like, I understand that you want to be informed, but, Twitter is probably like the best place to get your information from. And, I don't like to listen to mainstream media. I don't like Fox. I don't like CNN. I don't like any of that. So I highly recommend that you take a news fast, because it's very negative, very, very, very negative. And they like to, distract you with BS, and they like to, pump fear into your heart. And, it's all that negative energy is not good for you. So we should not be, consuming, the news cycle all the time, especially when they lie to you. But, some people just love to be lied to. Some people like the abuse. And let's jump to the next tweet. Bitcoin is for everyone, per usual. Those were my alerts from last night when I was asleep. They went off in the morning while I was asleep. So when I woke up, I made sure to screenshot that. All right, cool. One of my tweets is that all right, cool. So my bearish target for Bitcoin is 220, which Max Kaiser stated first, 220, and I think it could go anywhere to $345,000. The reason why is because Bitcoin went from 3,000 to 69,000, which was a 23x in the last cycle. So if we just did, maybe we don't do a 23x, which I think is, I think this is my bearish prediction as well. And 14 to 23x from 15,000, which is our lows, that would be anywhere. Well, 14x is that 220,000. And then to 23x is that $345,000 level. Now, because there's so many institutions, governments, plebs, everybody else buying, corporations buying, right? Tether and MicroStrategy alone are buying a ton of Bitcoin, right? So with the diminishing supply, simple supply and demand, institutions, corporations, states, nation states, states such as, South Carolina, which Bitcoin Zay was referring to, that he was trying to orange pill them years ago, and they didn't listen, but now they're putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Shout out to the Carolinas. I'm not sure if it's North or South Carolina, but make sure you follow Bitcoin Zay. He just tweeted about it. But with all that information and with all the whales buying, all the banks have to buy. I think this is a bearish scenario, and then the halvening, right? I think this is a bearish scenario for Bitcoin in the next cycle. My bullish, I'll do my bullish tweet tomorrow. So my bullish cycle is going to be, 25 to 50x. So 25 to 50x of 15,000. Let's do the math on that. Let's do 25x times 15,000. That's 375,000 on the low end. And then let's do, that was 25x. Let's do 50x times 15,000. That's $750,000 for one Bitcoin. If we do a 50x from our low, which is $15,000, that's $750,000 if we do a 50x, based on, again, supply and demand, institutions, states, nation states, everybody else buying Bitcoin, banks, etc., etc. So, I think this bearish case is a pretty substantial and obtainable bearish case. Shout out to Max Kaiser again. He's the one who said 220,000, and I understand. And I've always thought about, why. I always thought it was possible, but now that I did the math, because again, we went from 3,000 to 69,000. That is a 23x from the last cycle. So if we just do the same thing, that's anywhere between, if we do 14 to 23x this cycle, that's anywhere between $220,000 up to 345,000. And as I just mentioned, my bullish scenario is, 375,000 to $750,000 for one Bitcoin, and I think that's very obtainable. A lot of these numbers shock people, but nobody thought Bitcoin could hit $69,000 last cycle, and guess what? We hit $69,000, and I was smash buying away, and encouraging and educating people the whole way up, and I think I bought at 50,000. And 60, I bought like $1,000 at 50,000, 69,000. I don't cry about it. I don't care. I don't care if I'm down on that asset. I'm only down in US dollar denomination. I still have all those Satoshis. So, once you understand the value of Bitcoin, buy at any price, buy at every price. We buy all time highs and we buy lows and we buy in between. As long as you stack your Bitcoin and accumulate Satoshis, the name of the game is to get as many sats as you can, as many Satoshis as possible. So last thing I'll go over here is, as you guys can see, I made 50% on my, on my trade, which I was telling you guys about last night before I headed to sleep. But as you can see here, let's go into Samson Mao's Twitter thread. Okay. Assuming a constant price of Bitcoin of $30,000, MicroStrategy, I'm sorry, this light is bright in my face, so I can barely see. MicroStrategy is buying 1.34 billion a year, and Tether is buying 900 million a year. In 2023, the two entities absorbed a combined 22.74% of annual supply. In 2024, 32.11% of supply, and in 2025, that'll be 45.49% of supply. There is not much Bitcoin left. Act accordingly. Exactly what I was saying, guys. It is what it is. We can only say it for so long. I've been saying supply shock since last year. Max has been saying supply shock. It's a real thing that we need to realize. So next thread from Samson, MicroStrategy's average Bitcoin spend was 1.34 billion from 2020 to 2022. In 2023, they spent 526 million. It's likely that they will increase their spend in the years to come. 1.34 billion at 30,000 will get him 44,700 Bitcoin a year. In 2023, that's 12.61%. 2024, 19.22%, and in 2025, 27.22%. 27.22%. Tether, so that's just MicroStrategy alone. Now he's going to talk about Tether. Tether is estimated to generate $6 billion in profits this year. This they have publicly committed to allocating 15% of their profits to acquire more Bitcoin. 900 million at $30,000 Bitcoin will get them 30,000 Bitcoins a year. In 2023, 9.313%. In 2024, 12.88%. And in 2025, that's 18.26%. I expect that Tether's assets under management to continue to grow, so their BTC purchases should increase over the next few years. MicroStrategy should increase their buys as well. It's incredibly unlikely Bitcoin price stays at $30,000 due to existing demand plus forthcoming institutional demand, ETFs. And then finally, where is that tweet? I don't see a tweet. But he said, somebody asked him something, and then basically he said, anything less than infinity is bearish. And he made another tweet stating that as well. So that'll be the last tweet that I'll go over today. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'm always sharing what I find interesting on Twitter, and I'm always trying to drop gems and spread positivity, and do the best I can at reporting what I see and what I know, and sharing from the experts as well. So let me close this. All right, with that being said, I hope you guys have a good Thursday. I hope you guys stack away. Head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris. Bitcoin Dad, Fiat Dad website is down. I have to do something. I have to contact GoDaddy because I don't know what's going on. So I saw that a lot of people scanned the QR code yesterday. So what I'll do is once it's back up, I'll make sure to give you guys the update, and you guys can go pre-order my new book, Bitcoin Dad, Fiat Dad. But until then, head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin Chris, stack away your Bitcoin, and stay positive. Go mine some dirty fiat and buy some clean Bitcoin. Head over to check out the sunexchange.com where you can buy, solar panels to, help businesses in Africa, the sunniest place on the planet Earth, and you can earn residual income based on, how much energy you're able to provide, and you get paid in Bitcoin every month. And with that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe if you're over on Instagram, if you're over on Twitter. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate all 10,000 followers. Want to continue to grow. And that'll be it for today's video. I love you, God loves you, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bitcoin Chris checking out.